Alright, sorry about the super bright room, but I decided that I had to make a video instead. Just took me a while to get this all set up. I had a really nice stand, tangent real quick, that I bought. I think it cost me like 30 or 40 bucks, and somehow it really broke. So I don't know how I do things like this, but that's pretty much what I was working on for half an hour. So we'll see if this even works, because I was like texting basically the dopest group chat text thing ever called Crazy Nation. And it was one of those super long threads, like pretty much rant. And I was like, no, I'm not going to do this to them. So this is for you, Crazy Nation. And then this is going on YouTube. And there's a lot of good stuff here. And it all comes from the Cubs fucking winning the World Series. First time since 1908. Fucking love the Cubbies. And I'm an Angels fan. Not willing to recant them. Still a fan. Nothing official yet. But I love the Cubbies. So, heard it here first. And so I was texting them because I was so excited. And I did one of those things where I texted a wrong person. And I basically said, first fucking title since 1908. I love the Cubbies. Or actually I put I heart the Cubbies because it like recommends nowadays with iOS 10 or something, it recommends like emojis based on what you type. So turned it into a heart. That's how it got there. So he knows that I love the Cubbies and stuff. But I was like, he was a theology professor that I had for like at least 10 classes probably. But no big deal. At least I got A+ in this class, and he loved me because I was always that one guy to basically ask all the great questions. All the questions that people who are going to church usually never ask. Which is why it's more of like a brainwash institution. So I would ask all the good questions. I'm trying to learn all these different interpretations and how, pretty much like in the Bible and shit, you can interpret it so that it leads to love, or there's very reasonable, rational conclusions that you can come to, but it leads to hate. And so that's the thing. I learned like there's these different ways to take meaning from the Bible. And of course, for me, the biggest thing in my life, my mission, is love. And serving other people. Or just doing shit like this, where I have these insights that came from a Cubbies game, or actually a mistake text where I said the word fucking to a theology professor. But then just led to different things that I thought about, which I'm going to go through in just a second. So basically, so I got A+ in his courses. I asked all the questions that no one or people are too scared to ask because I wanted to learn. I wanted to learn more and more and more. It was fascinating to me that the church never told me these things. And there's this totally beautiful way to see something. I can go through some of this with you. And maybe I'll do that after I talk about the Cubbies a little bit. And possibly, maybe, doing a video confession of switching allegiances for the first time in 33 years. So, haven't done it yet, but I love the Cubbies. I think I said that like 10 times already. So basically I'd asked all these different questions. Questions, pretty much a type of question about life in general, where there's not ever going to be an answer. There's no answers to these questions. Unless you're prideful and you think that your way is the highway. But there's no answers to them. They can go either way. And of course, I love serving people, and I love making people happy. and seen people smile and turn a bad day into a great day. I love all that shit. And that's what I live for, which is why I think I've always gotten into customer service. Another tangent. But it's because my mission in life is I love you, any of you out there watching this, and whether it be teaching you something new or helping you pick up your wallet that you just dropped that you didn't know you dropped, or just talking to you like you might be my Uber passenger, and we start this amazing conversation because I just seriously, genuinely just wanted to get to know you, because you're an amazing person and we're all just so powerful beings, you know, to be able to do whatever we want, whatever we put our mind to, we can do. So I love doing that. So like when I learned, oh, there's this beautiful way that you can see this verse that makes so much sense if you look at it this way, and it just leads to even more love. But the church isn't doing it, and they might be taking this stance on an issue that just leads to hating people. And I couldn't be a part of that anymore. Or I couldn't be a part of an institution where I'm basically taking your money to come and watch me teach you something that I could be teaching you for free. So it didn't make sense. And so he knew I was that student that was going to come in there, and there was a pretty good chance that like I'd be the one where my worldviews would get so shattered in a good way. And Dr. Grana, I'll shout you out. You know, you were an amazing educator. And Dr. Grana is the guy that I accidentally texted, by the way. And you changed my life, Dr. Grana, because you weren't afraid to teach me. And this is what I loved about Hope International University in the first place, but you weren't afraid to teach me different ways that I can see the same scripture. And it allowed me to actually use this mind of mine, that the universe, you know, what is really eternal, to use this to like question even more and try to understand things even more. And I am deeply indebted to you for being able to do that and not being afraid to stir up discussions that might get pretty heated but fun in those classrooms and lead to just trying to love the best way that I can. So he knew I was going to be a person that, you know, would leave potentially the church, because I think like once I got my worldview shattered to a certain point, the church just became too limiting of an institution for the most part. Like it does not let you think outside the box. Like once, like you got to believe these certain things, and then if this makes a lot of sense and is beautiful and is amazing, comes straight from the Bible, or maybe this Buddhist scripture that I read, or maybe these Vedas from the Hindu tradition, you know, inspire me so much sometimes and can lead me to a higher stage of consciousness, which is just even more of like a pure love just entering your life. So once I figured all of that out, like I mean, if you want to call it God, which I'm not going to call it God because we don't have to talk about a transcendent being because that doesn't matter. The power is right here in me. The power is in you. Watching this, you have the power. You have infinite power. We are eternal beings. Just happen to have a human body right now. but we have the potential for so much great. Or like you see right now with all the divisiveness, you know, and especially politics nowadays, you see like it's sad because we have this potential for greatness and love, but then we can choose a path that just makes us like hate people. It makes us do just terrible things to each other. And because I wasn't able to branch out in church like that, and I've done the whole liberal church thing too, and it just becomes another belief system that it just ties you, it's constricting. Because you still have to believe a certain way or take sides. And I don't understand why we have to take sides. But if you attend or you're a member of one of those institutions, you do. Because you're paying money to protect a certain way of thinking. So I left that actually officially this year. And I haven't been happier or more aware of just amazing people like my family, my brothers, my mom, and, you know, just people that the church kind of ironically, you know, ignore maybe because we were serving Jesus or something. And it just made me realize the value of just resting, chilling, like on Sundays. Just being able to sleep in and just use that day. Hopefully, I love using that day to just rest. And I can do a video on that, you know, and just tell you about rest and how important that is to just be able to get a day where you just do nothing. It makes the whole difference the next 6 days. And yeah, I mean, it's just, and so that's why, you know, I guess I got on that tangent about talking about this and a million other tangents, but that's just me. I don't regret going through any of that. And I guess I got on that tangent because Dr. Joe Granda's Cubbies just won the World Series, and it's been since 1908. And it's fucking amazing. And I'm so happy for him, because he's actually from Chicago. And I'm gonna probably text you to let me know like which Cubbies jersey I should get. I think I want like a Joe Madden one, because no one ever gets the manager, and like he's just the shit. He's amazing. And so I don't know, I think I just want to go with being the first fan that actually puts the manager on there, because he's like the chief that just helps make everything run, along with the general manager, just putting together a team, chemistry, and just he actually has to deal with that and put the chemistry. Oh, that's a whole nother video too, just talking about the importance of chemistry and just not only sports teams, but you can see it on display and how important it is that you have this chemistry, these good vibes, the positive vibes, that you have a community of people that you're just working to build that up. And you can see, like, it's maybe stupid, dumb, you know, whatever, but this could be a whole other video too. It's just you can see that chemistry of a group of people that are united towards one cause could do so much good, has so much positive power. It can lead a team through a marathon season of 162 games where they have this chemistry with each other that's so just cohesive and so great, and just they're just so bonded to each other that they can do anything. I mean, they can overcome the game getting tied at the last minute pretty much and going into extra innings and just having to crawl their way back to victory. But you can like be able to handle shit. And baseball is, you know, obviously the shit that they gotta go through is, you know, it's not in the scale of like somebody in Uganda has to go through every day. Random, but I just picked that place, I guess. But I mean, it's true. But if that power can help a baseball team be able to go through 162 games, then the power of uniting as one people, not divided over religion or am I Democrat or Republican or socialist or all these other bullshit labels. I can do a whole video on that. And are we just dependent on that? Is that's what grouping us together? Because groups like that, or the KKK, is endorsing Trump, who's a circus act. He's not going to win because Hillary Clinton's already selected, because we have no power to vote for the next elected leader. And I could do another video on that. But Trump is uniting this whole group of people, the KKK, just by his campaign. He's bringing these people to prominence, and it's disgusting and it's sick, but that's the whole negative side of the equation. Is that we have the power to do that as well. So maybe there is a right and wrong, because it all starts with our thoughts and our beliefs, which are formed by whatever sources of learning that we're going through. Whoops. At least it's 4K video, right? So might not be the best video. It's a little wobbly and shit. But now I gotta get another stand. It was perfect because I was going to do a bunch of these videos from Disney. But I fucking broke this shit, and I don't know how. It sucks. Yeah. But yeah, so anyways, we were talking about like pretty much the power. You know, like we had the power for so much good and love. But then if we have, I guess I could say, like, I'm just going to say, yeah, if you have the wrong belief system, or you have a belief system that's so constricting that's not letting you think outside the box, or think of those other beautiful ways that you can see something that can increase your love that you have for somebody else on the other side, or even the animal, then you're choosing to choose hate. And that's what churches do every day. Is you're choosing a side. And I couldn't do that anymore. I couldn't choose sides. Even when I found a liberal side, I was still choosing a side. And it led me to create an enemy out of somebody else. And second reason is I couldn't, like, I wanted to be a pastor and everything. But eventually I realized, like, I couldn't take your money. I can't to teach you what I can do for free through YouTube. And maybe hopefully help you learn something new. That might not like be whole life changing, worldview shattering, but add something to like your wealth of knowledge. Now we have this expansive knowledge in your universe. that's going to help you down the road be able to make clearer decisions on where you stand on shit. Because we should stand somewhere, but where we stand shouldn't affect how we treat that other person that doesn't believe the same way we do. They have every right to, but we need to just be one and just still love each other. Because that's what it goes back to. The higher level of consciousness you get to is the more you're going to love loving other people and doing stuff for people. And you're going to attract that energy back to you, and you're going to find people that are going to do the same to you. And it's amazing how that happens, because that's the law of attraction. And yeah, you're going to reach this higher stages of consciousness. And again, it just all goes back to love. You're going to love more. And there's never anything wrong with more love. Never. And I'm ranting at this point right now. For sure. I mean, that's all I got right now. And this was dedicated to Crazy Nation, because I didn't want you to get 10 different texts. Some of you have Androids, and it does something stupid when you're in a group text, or when the text is too long, it breaks shit up and then maybe jumbles it because your service sent it at the wrong times and shit, and so it doesn't work. So I was writing, it was gonna be a fucking book in text, and I was no, I'll just post this to YouTube. And I've been wanting to talk to y'all. Dedicated to Crazy Nation, the best group text in the world. Every single one of you. Love you. And I love all of you who took the time to watch this video. Peace. And my favorite phrase that I'll end all my exchanges with, or I'm trying to practice it because I love this phrase. Namaste. Why do I love it? I'll just give you the background. Won't mention it again, but because you just heard. Namaste is basically, in Asian cultures, they didn't have terms. Just real quick, some background. They didn't have terms for God, or they couldn't understand the concept of God. What you talk about God? And just that word is just so loaded too. We can talk about that. I can do a video on that. But they didn't have this concept of a transcendent, kind of being, or what we think of what a God is, probably from our Christian backgrounds and stuff like that. And so what was I going to say? Damn. Mouth is dry. Well, damn, I forgot. Cool. Well, I'll do that a lot, because I do that a lot. I always get on this rant, and then I forget halfway through it. And then it'll come back to me later, and I'll probably write it down, and I'll get back to it in another video. So it was something good, yeah, it's all good. Oh yeah, namaste. Okay, I remembered now. So basically, they didn't have really this word for what we think of as God. But they believed in something that you can't see. So it's not like a human being or anything. It's not this gray hair, gray bearded guy in the sky with lightning bolts when you do something wrong. Not that. Not this vindictive, person that's willing to send people to hell, apparently, to burn forever for little shit that you did in 60 years of living, because that makes sense. But not that. Nah, they still had this belief there's something more. Can't see it, they didn't know what energy or electricity was yet, obviously, but like they were explaining pretty much like energy, like positive energy, negative energy. It goes through our world, our bodies, everything. We attract, you know, if we're being negative and shit, you know, you're gonna attract more negative energy in your life. If we're having more positive thoughts and staying positive, then you're gonna attract more positive energy into your life. If you're more negative, you're gonna attract more negative people into your life, or vice versa. It just, you know, there's something that just like binds and interconnects us all. And so Namaste realizes that that something is like right here. It's always been. It's like it's the Atman in Hindu cultures. They have that word for the power being right here. The human soul, and that's what's eternal, and that's really what's us. That's you. We're the soul. We're eternal. We've had all these other different lives. That's why we have memories and shit and deja vu happening all the time. But that's the part of us that's eternal. It's this energy, it's this soul, it's this spirit, whatever you want to call it. I like to call it energy because that's scientifically verifiable. And it's still all the same thing. But who cares? Who gives a shit about all those mythical, you know, words that we've come up with? It could help for a time. It could help for certain people. I don't regret any of the experiences in church. I've learned so much about leadership. I've learned so much about organizing people. Good and bad things. Bad things that I'll never do. I'll stay away from. Good things that'll, you know, help me unite people. And there's a lot of I'm always remembering and just going over with my friends, so you know, like I'll babble on about like positive shit that I've gained from the church, because there's so much good that you can kind of get, but then you'll get to a certain point again where it's going to be constricting time to go. And so Namaste is basically honoring that Atman, that soul, the eternal, immortal, infinite power being that we are. And again, with potential for bad, but potential for so much greatness. So much potential. That's why I want to say Atman. That's why I want to say Namaste more. And say it to every person. Unless I can find like an English word or something, but I still haven't been able to find an English word that really encompasses that. Or, you know, I can explain it in English, but it takes me like, you just saw 5 minutes to explain it. Or that's just me. But that's all I got for you for today. There's a lot of things kind of going on in my mind that I can talk about. And I'm just going to go with it and just like do this for however many, maybe 20, 30 minutes and just talk. Bug the shit out of you, or you won't watch it or whatever, but if you are watching it, I do hope that you get something from it, because that's all I can do. You know, at least I'm not there with you. I can't like serve you or you know, help you do something that no one else will help you do, or like whatever. Like I can't love you in those ways, like physical, tangible ways, but you know, if you can get something from this, if you start a good conversation with somebody else, then I fulfilled my mission. So, namaste.